typically we like to keep things more, fun, good vibes around here. But it's time to get a little bit serious because something big happened in the NBA about a month ago. And it's quite serious, and there were serious implications to it. We're going to talk about, obviously, the Jontay Porter situation. So for those of you that don't know who Jontay Porter is, he is the brother of Michael Porter Jr. He was on a two-way contract with the Toronto Raptors. And on March 25th, the NBA launched an investigation where a bunch of his prop bets kind of surfaced. And prop bets don't really, for those that don't bet, prop bets only really appear for, starters, star players, all-star stuff like that. So why would anyone be betting on a guy that barely plays, right? Because a two-way contract, you're both in the NBA and the G League. You're kind of flip-flopping between both, and you have no playoff eligibility.
Yeah.
So there were I think 2 games back in February where he got pulled because the bets appeared. And, this is major stuff when it comes to betting with conflict of interest and all that stuff. So the investigation was launched, and a lot of damning information was found as a result of this. The big one being him betting on the Raptors to lose when he was playing.
Insane.
And you have a direct impact on that. And essentially, he was doing that for a while, and he's such an idiot for it too because he only made $20 grand from it.
Yep.
And he wagered over $1 million worth of money. And look, Adam Silver does not take these kind of violations lightly. And a couple days ago, at the time of recording, he did levy a lifetime ban on Jontay Porter. So he can never play in the league again. I know at some point when players are banned for life, they can get reinstated, but he's not good enough anyways to play long-term in the NBA. But
Well, he was starting to get better, actually.
he was, yeah.
He was
but
starting
that's
to
because
put
the
up decent
Raptors,
games.
the Raptors had no one left.
Yeah.
But and there's obviously been a lot of controversy between both sides because obviously on one end, betting is not something players should be doing, and obviously the NBA's got such tight relations with DraftKings, FanDuel, so it almost seems like hypocrisy in that sort of sense. And on the other side of things, you're giving Jontay Porter life from the NBA, but you gave Miles Bridges 30 games. That's kind of where things become a little inconsistent.
Very morally interesting. There.
Right. I can understand some arguments, whereas the NBA's got full control of the Jontay Porter thing, whereas the justice system has the Miles Bridges stuff, but still you can control. If someone's a piece of shit, get that guy out of here, right? So I'll go to you first, Gio. Okay. Just general thoughts on your opinions on the Jontay Porter situation, because I know you researched it a lot.
Yeah. Obviously unfortunate. He was obviously not smart about the way he went about that, and you shouldn't be betting on games that you have a direct impact on, and you should know that. Especially, how much is he making as to begin with?
Two-way players make anywhere from $400,000 to $475,000.
So all that, I mean, it's not a lot of money for an NBA player, but $20,000 to be struck with the ban hammer, that's tough, man.
Yeah,
it's tough. What do you think, Anthony?
Yeah. I did some research too. Even apparently he was working with a bookie that was placing bets on him as well.
Wow. Yeah.
And they were getting in some cuts, and he was letting his bookie know about his injury status, about how many minutes he was going to play, which is definitely shouldn't be done, and it's a lot more work that needs to be done when you're an NBA player. You shouldn't really be doing that. You shouldn't be in touch with any bookie in any capacity that can get you in trouble because they know who you are. Anything
NBA related. You can bet, if you're an NBA player, you can bet on NFL games and stuff like that.
Very unfortunate. I don't think we've seen anything like this. We've seen gambling issues in the NFL recently. Calvin Ridley was banned for a season for gambling on when he was on the Falcons.
Yes.
The NFL just reinstated 5 players from the Commanders who were suspended last year for betting, but we're not starters. We're kind of more bench players. Again, only a year ban for those guys. They've been back after a year. I don't know how the NFL views gambling. It's the same thing with
it's kind of mainstream. They want their money, but if any players try and get involved, they're not tolerating it.
Yeah, I think Silver definitely, compared to Goodell, takes gambling more serious than, as Tyler brought up, the if someone's a terrible person with the Miles Bridges stuff and some things that happen in the NFL with a lot of DV cases that happen in the NFL.
Yeah.
But I think the person that's affected the most from this is definitely Michael Porter Jr.
I mean, it's obviously quite clearly Jontay Porter.
Right.
He threw his life away.
Yes, I
Not
would.
his life,
I
but, like,
think,
his
of course,
His career, yeah.
I think, of course, definitely Jontay is affected this.
Yeah.
I think MPJ's getting a lot of the backlash,
Yeah.
being the brother, and
There were Laker fans, jokingly, obviously,
Yeah.
but there were Laker fans saying, "Oh, they should suspend Michael Porter
Out of speculation.
out of association,
Yeah.
speculation, and
Yeah.
and the Porters are a big family. They have like
Yeah.
4 or 5 kids.
yeah, they have 5.
And it's very surprising. Michael Porter seems like a very good guy,
He
Yes.
is.
right? And
MPJ
he probably is. And I've seen him on other podcasts as well. But
He's
I don't know.
definitely out of pocket. He has his own podcast, Curious
Yeah.
Mike, which you guys could definitely. I should recommend you guys check
Cool.
it out.
I like it.
He actually managed to get Nikola Jokic on an episode.
Yeah.
Never thought that was possible.
I need to check
Yeah.
that out.
was actually really good.
MPJ, for a lot, I'm sure people know MPJ was the number 1 recruit in his class going into college.
He was going to be the
he
number 1.
he committed to Mizzou to play for Mizzou. Had a really bad injury. Never played for Mizzou. Entered the draft after that injury and was still one of the highly touted players in that draft. And got drafted.
He was actually going to be the number 1 pick.
Yes,
If
They-
he played.
if he played at Mizzou.
He had a pro day. He was talking about on his either he was on his podcast or he was on Trey Young's. There's so many podcasts nowadays.
Yes.
But obviously, we just added another one to the mix. But he wasn't feeling the greatest.
Yeah.
And a bunch of doctors checked him out instead of having his pro day. And that's when news broke that, all the injury stuff, everything like that. Because he had back surgery previously.
Yes.
And the Clippers doctor said he would never play again.
Wow.
And obviously,
That's
he
rough.
fell all the way from 1 to 14, right
Yep.
at the end of the lottery to the Denver
Which is not that
Nuggets.
far down.
Not that far.
It's far
enough.
for a number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He fell all the way to the back end of the lottery. And the Nuggets took a chance on him.
And they
And
hit
he had
really well.
they let him take his time. He had another back surgery. And then obviously the second MVP season for Jokic, the 21-22 season, MPJ got hurt 9 games in. Had another back surgery. That's the third one. But they let him rest.
Yeah.
Unlike the Nets when they made Ben Simmons come back 5 months after back surgery.
Can't mess around with the back.
Exactly.
No,
Kind of the hub for everything.
Yeah.
So, and look, I mean, I think that's also a testament to the Nuggets organization.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people can go through things off the court, and he said it last night. Like, obviously, he said some bad and sad stuff happened to his brothers, but he got 15, 16 more brothers here. He just wanted to let them down.
Exactly.
So,
That's facts.
And then for other people who didn't know, but aside from Jontay, Michael Porter's other brother, Coben, just got sentenced to 6 years in prison for a fatal DUI crash where he killed somebody.
When was this?
it's like a
Last
year
year
or two ago. Yeah.
So
court systems are slow. It takes a
yeah,
while.
he got
Yeah.
sentenced, I think, 2 days after Jontay's lifetime ban.
It was actually.
Wow.
It was
No,
actually.
I don't
It was
remember.
It was like 4 days ago, but MPJ was at his trial 2 days ago from time of recording. So we recorded this on Sunday. Game 1 was on Saturday. Friday he was trying to testify and just in support of his brother.
Yeah.
That's insane.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Michael Porter has been through a lot, his own and his family stuff, and obviously he doesn't have the greatest sort of reputation media-wise, just because some things he says, because Michael Porter's just that guy. Like he'll just speak his mind.
Yeah.
That's
and
true.
Yeah.
some people will take it the wrong way, and obviously just some people just like to meme his game. Like he doesn't pass the ball. Like Michael never swing the rock, Porter, or Michael the possession ends here, Porter Jr. So like the kid's been through a lot, and I really
Yeah.
feel for him. But look, I mean, he was hooping last night, but we'll talk
yeah.
about that later.
was.
But
He's a great player.
yeah,
He was.
great player, 6'10" sniper, like it's
Man,
crazy.
That's a championship piece right
No,
there.
it is.
Exactly. But back to the dumbass, his brother, unfortunately.
Jontay.
Where do you see this kind of taking the NBA? Like, do you think there will be more players caught with this sort of thing? What happens if a star player gets caught? Will the punishment be the same?
Now here's the thing with that.
Yeah.
I think the NBA, so they're scared to have this happen in the future, and I think that's why they went so extreme with this one by making it a lifetime ban.
Right.
So I think they're setting an example to every other NBA player that even thinks about doing this, whether they be a star or not. saying, "Don't get involved in this, or else you're done."
I just
forever.
I just don't know.
So this is the example. I think they're
I
setting
think
the standard right now.
Another word, for example, this is the precedent of what happens when you're gonna gamble, regardless of just anything relating to your own self profits and your own team.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I think the players got the message. I think it's two-way player. Like, I don't know if something does come out with another player that's more relevant than Jontay Porter, and they get a lesser sentence, then we have something to talk about.
I'll need to believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of the whole strong with the weak, weak with the strong.
Yeah.
If a guy in a max contract gets caught gambling, get his ass out of here. I don't care how much money he makes the league. He's bad for the league.
Yeah, but
You're
think so?
I don't care how good or
What if
bad
it's-
you are.
What if it's what's your boy's name? Nikola Jokic. What if he gets caught?
bro? I'm
Is it better for the league that he stays?
I'm
or is it
about
better
I'm
for the
about
league?
consistency because
Okay.
no matter how good or bad someone is, if someone's taking away if someone's directly impacting the integrity of the game, they're not good for the game.
Exactly.
They're not good for the league.
Yeah.
So,
Agreed.
and it's not a good look if Steph Curry gets a 1-year ban, whereas Jontay Porter gets banned for life for the same shit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's a business. I understand it.
Yeah.
But look, we won't know if this is the true precedent until someone else gets banned. If someone else gets caught. Someone else will get caught.
Now, what if there's like some internal corruptness where the NBA investigates an all-star player and says, "Oh, he wasn't doing anything when he actually was."
Right. That's
That
where
that could potentially
that will happen.
But they can put it out like, "Oh, we found out he wasn't really involved in this when he actually was," because they want to keep him in the league playing. You know?
That's the beauty of present day media. There's going to be so much
Leaks.
stuff in 4K and leaks
True.
and everything.
Correct.
And even like if a team is cheating, like it just takes one employee or former employee getting rubbed the wrong way by the organization and they reveal everything.
True.
That's what I hope happens with Man City one day.
Yeah.
But that's a story for another day.
That's a
different
story for
story
another
for
pod.
Yeah, well, it's their soccer team, but
They're a soccer team.
kind of along the same lines, just a
Yeah.
bunch of shady, corrupt shit going on.
Right.
But yeah, any other final things on the Jontay Porter situation? No.
No.
I think just
we
the one.
covered
just-
everything.
I think just the usual disclaimer: please gamble responsibly.
Yeah.
If you're under
Yeah.
Or
20,
just
if you're
don't.
under 21, don't fucking do it.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Yeah.
Or just don't do it because
Yeah.
it's something where you can get really sucked
Yeah,
into it.
if you have a gambling addiction, seek the appropriate help because you could be costing yourself not only money but your life. as
Yeah,
well.
and we're gonna put a link in the description for all the
Yeah.
hotlines or websites you can go to
Yeah.
for help and all that stuff. So, so yeah, be careful, kids.